When a child fakes the disorder, is it because they're just a kid being a kid, or does it mean that they could be lacking resources elsewhere? I ask this because I got a comment saying that this is just normal human behavior, stop pathologizing it. And I'm like, I can definitely empathize with that. I want to hear your opinion. Whether or not it's an indicator of underlying mental health issues or some kind of problem going on at home, we can still come to the conclusion that it's absolutely not okay. Pretending to have dissociative identity disorder is not the same as role-playing, right? Today's story is one of the most disturbing faking stories I've ever heard because it could have resulted in death due to someone believing they had ADHD due to what they heard on the internet and then finding out that it was a health condition that, if wasn't caught, could have resulted in death. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, turn the bell on. We will be talking about this and another story in today's video. 3.5 years ago, when I was 11, I came across the mental illness trend on TikTok. I saw adults and teens older than me talking about this mental illness and how anyone could have it because they own a fidget toy. I was convinced that I have ADHD. Me getting distracted easily, getting tired, or suddenly energetic was because of my ADHD. Getting bad marks was because of my ADHD. Literally everything I did was because of ADHD. Because it all made sense. It gave me an advantage. I could now blame something other than me for all the bad habits I have and not even be the bad guy for it. I convinced my mom to take me to the doctor for a diagnosis, and I did get diagnosed with ADHD, but also other mental illnesses that was caused by external factors. But I obviously only paid attention to my ADHD. I did not care about getting better. I did not care about my own mental health. No, I only cared about the attention I got and being able to do anything without consequences. But then TikTok got banned in my country. I lost my main supporters. I started feeling lonely and unvalid. My mother had had enough. She had a big conversation with me, and it made me realize how toxic my life had been the previous year. But I still kept blaming everything on my ADHD, and only now was I trying to get better. But no matter how hard I tried, it was only getting worse. My health was deteriorating, and I was getting worse and worse marks in my exams. 6 months ago, my parents took me to get blood tests done, and it turns out I actually have a life-threatening autoimmune disorder. And had I not gone to the doctors, then the illness could have gotten to the point of no return, which could even lead to death. The symptoms of the illness are very similar to the symptoms of ADHD. These TikTokers made me so convinced that I have ADHD that I did not even try to find other reasons for my health conditions. I truly hate these people for ruining almost 4 years of my life. I lost my chance at getting merit in 10th grade, which I know I could have gotten if I hadn't been basically manipulated into getting any help and thinking that my problems will never get solved and my bad habits will never go away since I have ADHD, and that I have to accept it and that it will all work out once I do. I have wasted my parents' money, made my mother feel bad and guilty every time I shouted at her for no reason and justifying it on having ADHD. I lost the time I could have spent with my sister instead of calling her the worst sister ever because she tried to find other reasons to my problems other than ADHD. Sorry if this felt like I was trauma dumping, but truly these people on TikTok, especially the adults, need to try to understand how terribly misleading and dangerous their posts can be to kids and even naive adults. I will go and say again that this person was 11 years old. When we're kids, we start to form coping mechanisms to whatever we might be going through. While a lot of us had a seemingly normal childhood, I will say that no parent is perfect, right? And when you hear that this person is 11 years old, the first thing that I think is that they were influenced by people older than them or people who didn't know better. I mean, when I was 11 years old and I saw someone who was in high school, I thought that they were just the coolest thing ever. Like, oh my gosh, you're a high schooler, you know everything there is to know ever. But now that I'm 23 years old, I realize like high schoolers are high schoolers. Even at 23, I still know very little about anything, ever. But I will say, I don't think it is completely the fault of TikTok that this person got diagnosed with ADHD. I mean, the way that they actually went to a doctor to get diagnosed, I don't know if it's because they tried to like exaggerate symptoms that they knew went along with ADHD or what. Nevertheless, this begs the question of if TikTok is appropriate for people at such a young age when you are so moldable. This makes me think that TikTok can almost be dangerous for young kids or naive adults. I'm seeing people all over the internet, and it honestly hurts my brain to see so many people seeking the victim card or sympathy. Everybody deserves that. You don't need to like brag about it. My point is that it's not the fault of the 11-year-old, in my opinion. You know, it was first of all TikTok and then this doctor that misdiagnosed them. Like that's horrible. Let's move on to our next story. Reflecting on my actions a year and a half later. Around a year and a half ago, I met a few people on Discord who all claimed to have DID or OSDD. They were all around my age and had some serious mental health issues. And I will still believe, and probably won't stop believing, that their mental health was at an all-time low. Back then, I was at one of my lowest times. I was insecure, honestly had no friends, and incredibly awkward. I had met these people through a small streamer's Discord server. I met a few of them there, and then was invited into a new Discord server. I honestly did have a lot of mental health issues back then too. I started getting comfortable, and most of them were systems. They all had at least one DSMP alter. I started to feel left out, and they started to convince me I had DID or OSDD too. I originally was kinda like, maybe not. But then they started fully telling me, I'm almost sure you have DID. If not, I'd be surprised. So I believed it too. I ended up so deep in this lie, I was telling myself it too. Luckily, my parents ended up going through my DMs because I had a mental break about a ton of stuff. They ended up seeing a picture of a gun with questionable messages behind it. I personally didn't see the gun and messages, I just saw the toes. My friend had sent it to me as toe pics as a joke. I haven't spoken to those friends in 6 months now. I'm still in contact with one of them who's admitted to me they faked DID too, and we both started to bond over the fact that we both felt pressure. I also have screenshots of DMs and messages if you guys want to cringe too. I apologize to the DID and OSDD community. I've made a mistake. I've been in therapy for over a year now and have been properly diagnosed with OCD and anxiety, and that is the only mental illnesses I seem to have, although anxiety and depression run in my family and have for generations. Again, I apologize to the OSDD and DID community. You all go through enough already with the other fakers, and I hated that I was one of them. Edit. I appreciate the positivity and kindness coming from the commenters here, but if you aren't a member of the DID or OSDD community, I don't feel you should be forgiving me. It feels wrong, honestly. I messed up big time and acknowledge that. I've gotten help and have spent time calling out mental illness fakers on TikTok. I called out my old quote-unquote system friends, and with that have gotten to a period where I didn't have friends again. I'm in a better place, like I said, and have gotten friends. Honestly, if you're faking a disorder, please stop. It's gross, and I made that mistake too. You may think that it's the right thing, but if you are just yourself, then you're way better off that way. I also have been doing extensive research on OSDD, DID, and other disorders. I've spoken to my friends and family and my therapist about my past of faking. Dissociative identity disorder is so far away from role-playing. When I was in high school, I remember I was doing this role-playing thing with my friends, and basically like we would text each other pretending to be a character, and obviously that's totally normal, not faking a disorder. Let me know what you guys think. Was it this person's fault? I don't believe so. I am more keen to give them the benefit of the doubt, because once they realized what was going on, they ditched those friends, they apologized profusely, and out of all of these people on the internet who are still faking DID, you were one to come forward about it, which is commendable. Who knows how many other people will come forward because of you. Learning from your mistakes is amazing, but unfortunately with this whole internet thing, sometimes we have to do it online, publicly, it's horrifying. So let me know what you guys think about these two stories today. I think that they're all so sad. Do you think that these tweens faking a disorder is completely normal behavior, or do you think that it means they might be lacking something into their day-to-day life, or might be struggling with some other mental illness? I don't have the answer for you guys. I don't know that there is even an answer, but let me know what you guys think. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, turn the bell on if you're feeling risky, and comment below. Thank you so much. It helps with the algorithm. Thank you so much to each and every one of my members. You guys make my channel world go round. And to everyone, have a good day, night, whatever the case may be, and peace out.